So with back-to-back performance tonight bonuses and currently running a 3-fight win streak, at what point do you believe you'll stop being called a contender, a prospect, and start being called a serious contender in the middleweight division?
I think when I go from prospect to contender, I think that would be once we've taken some names that are well known and well reputable in the division. This fight I have this Saturday, Roman, is definitely one of those names. Solid fighter. He's been here a fair few years now. I've been in the rankings a fair few years now. So a win over Roman would definitely put me towards that kind of talk.
And you came into the UFC with a lot of hype, being a Cage Warriors champion, and you're getting in the biggest stage of your career, ranked opponent in London. Do you feel like this is a long time coming for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. And there's no better place for it to happen than London. Home soil, home crowd, home fans. So the atmosphere alone would be crazy. And then to put a stamp on it, getting that win and getting that number next to my name, man, it puts a big statement out there.
And last one from me, I'm asking every UK fighter on the card, with the hype surrounding the White House card, if there was a UK version of the White House card, where do you think it should be held and who would you want to fight?
That would have to be Wembley Arena. Who do I want to fight? Man, there's a list of names that could be exciting fights, especially on that card. But I think an exciting fight for myself on a big card like that would be, a name like Izzy, something like that. Just a stand-up fight, a fun fight for the fans.
Thanks, Christian.
Next question.
Hi. So you've shown some knockout wins. What more do you think you need to display in order for people to really kind of get behind you a little bit more and start pushing you for, as we was talking about earlier, a bit more of a contender fights? Yeah,
I think naturally as I have more fights in the UFC and I keep growing and developing how I am, my skill set will naturally show. So I've shown that I can finish fights. I've shown that I can get knockouts too. That's naturally in my style. I'm not a boring fighter at all. I bring excitement to the division. There's not many guys like me in my division that move the way I do and kind of have the flair that I have. And I'm also developing. So there's other things that I'm working on constantly in the background that when I have the opportunity to showcase, they definitely come through.
Yeah, it's a great style, and what you wouldn't want to do is pigeonhole that. But against someone like Roman Dolidze, do you think this is the fight where we'll see more elements to your game, or for you is this a similar problem we've come up before and you know how to answer it?
I think it will come down to how Roman approaches this. We know his style. He's very good at what he does. He's a strong. He likes to bring guys into brawls. He's a very good grappler too. A good wrestler, strong guy. It depends on what he brings, because there's fights where he's stood up the whole fight and there's fights where he's brought it to the ground. So naturally, depending on where it goes, you'll see what skills I need to bring out.
Okay, cool.
Christian?
Right, good luck. Thanks.
Right here in the middle. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do you think Roman will be your hardest opponent yet?
I would definitely say he's well up there, yeah. He's well up there.
And nobody kills him in his career, and you will obviously rank with a win, and this could be your breakout win in the UFC.
Say that again, sorry.
So this could be your breakout
Yeah.
win in the UFC if we talk about the middleweight title.
With a win over Roman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I said, Roman being the name that he is and the experience that he's got, yeah, man, it definitely puts us in that position. And for me personally, a win over Roman, that we actually met a few years back in Albuquerque, New Mexico, when I was an amateur. This is going back 2017. He was getting ready for his UFC debut, and I was still just out there training as an amateur, just to kind of get a feel for what the professional atmosphere was like. And they put me across with the pros to train. So we got a bit of mat time then. So for me, it's like gone full circle, and I get to actually see now, okay, I'm at that level now.
And so, do you think you could be the first to KO him?
Hey, time will tell. We'll see what happens Saturday night, but I know it's going to be a fun fight for sure.
Thank you, and good luck.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just wanted to ask, obviously, because you're a middleweight and obviously you're facing Roman Dolidze next, like, who do you think is going to win out of Sean Strickland and Khamzat?
Strickland and Khamzat, that's a good fight, I was in with Fluffy. Strickland can can change styles of fights. You know, we know Fluffy likes to be he's a grinder. He likes to put pressure on guys, but Strickland managed to kind of slow him down in what he wanted to do. So if you can do that against Khamzat, and the Khamzat style is very, you know, it expresses a lot of energy. So if you can do that against Khamzat, you never know what could happen towards the end. But if I was betting on the fight, I would go with Khamzat.
Do you, obviously, because you're facing Roman next, but do you ever look at those opponents and obviously compare your styles to them and just basically imagine being in there with them?
Yeah,
Especially
100%. I'm always scoping the division, scoping the guys above me, especially, you know, because as even back then I said with Roman, knowing that he's in my division, and I knew at that time where I'm heading to, I knew he could be a potential opponent, you know. So you scope these guys out, but looking ahead of the guys that are in the division above me, man, there's exciting fights all around, you know. You've got guys I've been watching and even fans of from when I first got into the sport. So to me, it's some big fights, there, big opportunities coming. Yes, sir.
Hi. Looking at you right now, you look extremely happy, excited, and just grateful to be in the position you're in. You look at the landscape of your division at the moment. How excited are you to be a part of this and knowing that a fight and a win against Roman could potentially propel you to the next level?
Yeah, man, it's exciting. It's definitely exciting for more than just, you know, being able to compete here. It's exciting in the fact of what kind of legacy we can potentially create here, you know, long term too. But also the competition, you know, that's why I get excited. The level of competition that I can face. Like I said, there's guys that I've been watching for a long time, and to be able to potentially put my name in that hat, you know, towards that contender, then yeah, that's what excites me as well.
Completely hear it. Also, fighting in London as well. How difficult is it getting the balance between feeding off the energy from the crowd, but also remaining professional to get the job done as well?
I think it's a natural balance, you know. I'm always in a mindset I need to get the job done, you know. I always bring that kind of a mindset to it, but then the crowd, the home crowd especially, the atmosphere is different. You feed off the energy. So my past few fights have been at the Apex, and it's quite intimate, you know. It's quite intimate. But then when you've got thousands of fans screaming around you, especially when you're in there and you land certain shots, it's a different kind of energy, man.
Super. And then final question for me. Apart from your fight, obviously, on the night, what fight are you most looking forward to seeing?
I'm looking forward to seeing Leroy fight, you know. I think this is the one, if he wins this, that puts him in for a title shot. A long time coming for him, you know. He's earned the spot undefeated, big finish in his last fight. So, man, I'm looking forward to seeing Leroy complete, and obviously the other UK guys.
All the best for Saturday.
Respect, man. Appreciate it.
Over here. So I want to ask, do you feel any pressure according to that? You are fighting with the ranked rival, so if you win, you probably would be there. And do you observe Roman, because he was in Warsaw, in the Warsaw club, training with ex-UFC champion Jan Blachowicz, for example?
Okay.
And you didn't know about
No,
that?
no.
Okay, so do you feel any pressure about that?
No pressure, you know. I always put a certain amount of pressure on myself, you know. So all the extra kind of stuff I just take in my stride, you know. I'm always in my own mind. These extra things, I don't see them as pressure, you know. It's more opportunities to grow, develop, and build, and get towards where we're going to, man. So this fight with Roman, when I first heard the name and that I'm going to be fighting him, when she listened how quick I signed the contract to get that fight there, just see it as, you know, it's a way to push me towards where I need to get to, man. It's an exciting fight.
A lot of fighters in Warsaw said that he do amazing things in grappling. So
Yeah.
do you feel any fear about that?
No, we know he's a strong grappler, man. We know he's a strong grappler. And like I said, it brings like an excitement to my training even, because now I get to work in areas and improve in areas, you know. So it just makes for an exciting fight. Yes, sir.
Over here, you've had 2 finishes, last 2 fights. Are you coming in for the hat trick, or are you going to be more cautious?
The finishes come naturally, you know. It's nothing that's forced. If I see an opportunity to take it, to make a finish happen, and it'll happen. It depends how the fight's going. But both of our styles, you know, there's bound to be, you know, some explosive exchanges in there.
Yeah. How do you see the fight playing out? Do you expect him to try to close the distance, clinch and wrestle, and make it dirty?
It would seem that would be the best approach for him. at the same time, like I mentioned, that he's come out and done things that you wouldn't expect of him. We have to see how he approaches it, but that would be probably what I'd expect.
And if everything goes well, how do you see your future, like the next year in the UFC?
The next year, I'd just stay competing, stay active. You know, keep making my way towards a single digit next to my name, top 10, top 5. You know, pushing that way. Some names that have big names in the division. I just want to keep growing, keep developing, and taking these fights, man. To stay active.
About your development, what are the things you've been working on most in this camp?
Same as every camp, all areas. Work on my strengths, my weaknesses, things from my past fights that I'll win. I still take a lot of lessons from them. You know, we watch them, dissect them, and kind of see from a potential opponent's point of view how they would be looking at it, and then we close any kind of gaps that we see from myself. So yeah, we just keep working and developing in all areas.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, yeah.